What's up, Wild Ragers, and welcome to another episode of Wildman's Gaming and Rage Quit channel. Today we are playing Valheim. It's an early access game on Steam, and I was very fortunate enough to receive it as a special gift. So shout out and thanks to Spudwhip for sending this game my way and introducing me to the wonderful world of Valheim. So what is this game? The premise here is that Odin, the All-Father Odin, had defeated the monsters and the evil beings a long time ago and have locked them up. But apparently they are gaining in strength, and in order to put them in check, Odin has ordered the Valkyries to gather the greatest warriors from Midgard, which is basically Earth, and then place them here in Valheim so that they can grow in strength and defeat all these other monsters. So here you can build the look of your character. You can select the sex, skin tone, hair, beard, hair tone, and blondness. And once you've figured out the character that you'd like, you can enter the name and proceed to enter the world. Let's go ahead and do that. Now let's go ahead and type our name. We're going to use Wildman, and here we go. Now once we press start, we are treated to select the world, and we're given a seed, and we can start. Now I don't know much about my voice acting skills. I don't profess to be a professional or amateur even, but let's see what we can do with this.
Long ago, the All-Father Odin united the worlds. He threw down his foes and cast them into the 10th world, and split the bows that held their prison to the World Tree and left it to drift unanchored, a place of exile. For centuries, this world slumbered uneasily, but it did not die. As glacial ages passed, kingdoms rose and fell out of sight of the gods. When Odin heard his enemies were growing once again in strength, he looked to Midgard and sent his Valkyries to scour the battlefields for the greatest of their warriors, that to the world they would be born again in Valheim.
That was a little too fast. I think it scrolled up too fast. I wanted to do it slower, but ooh, look, is that a Valkyrie? That bird? I think that's a yeah. I guess that's a Valkyrie because if that's our character and we've been taken from Midgard and we're going into that world. Yeah. Hey, cool. So I'm moving the mouse a bit, looking at it from different angles, trying to be dramatic about it. Very nice. But honestly, that scroll up, I would have. Well, there's no voice talent. I mean, we get into the game. Actually, I would have wanted two things from that one. I would have been able to. I would have wanted it to be able to press escape and go right into the game. But prior to that, it would have been nice if it had a nice voice acting. Certainly better than mine. I mean, oh, I feel cold. Okay, so when you enter the world of Valheim here in the first part, you get to talk to Hugin, and you press E to talk. So that's this device, the Hugin character, non-player character, basically acts as a guide to the character, especially if you're new. It appears and it gives you hints and instructions. I'm still reading. I'm talking. Do you mind? I'm talking to this bird here. There. Yeah, I got skill improved, unarmed. Yeah, grayling, eh? Okay, try this unarmed combat. I've improved. I've gone to 3 points. Yeah, there. Yeah, take that for your. There. Okay. Oh, you bring tidings. Oh, okay. Yeah, yes, Hugin, you were saying. Okay, these magical stones were scattered throughout the lands by Odin as signposts pointing toward the ritual grounds of the Forsaken. Yeah, okay, sure. And if we inspect it closer, then this one will reveal that the summoning place of Elkthir, our first prey, is a mighty beast. So we need to properly arm ourselves before even attempting to defeat him. Okay. So as I said, Hugin is a character that provides guidance. From time to time, it will appear and talk to us and give us hints of what can and can be done. Okay, so this is it looks pretty cool. So we can go around. What do we have here? So uh, I wasn't paying attention much to the interface. One of the benefits of reviewing a gameplay video for me is when I'm playing a game, I'm hardly paying attention to everything that's happening. A lot of things are happening around me, and sometimes I'm not um, understanding everything. So a good review would be good. I didn't know, for instance, that I had a torch. Ah, now I do. Okay, and looking at the lower left panel, I see there's this item there that looks like a fork and another insignia. Is it a fleur de lis? No, no, no. It's not a fleur de lis. It's some kind of insignia. I can't remember. I'll have to look it up on Google what kind of insignia that is. But it says I have 15. Okay. And now I'm being educated on what it means for me to be wet and cold because I'm walking around in the dark in the forest with a torch. Okay, but I guess the grayling it was good to encounter that grayling maybe because then I had some additional items. Now some of these things I'm doing here, I only learned from probably watching a few other YouTube videos from that give instructions. This is a relatively new game. It's still in early access, but a lot of YouTubers are already talking about how to play this game, what you can do, and how to survive, which is pretty cool. So we'll take a look around and see what else we could find. But so far, what we've learned is number one, you can pick raspberries, consume them with a right click from your inventory. You summon the inventory with a tab, and that will give you the whatever you right click, which is food inside your inventory, goes into that fork symbol in the lower left, and you gain health, albeit um, slowly. I mean, it's not instant, or it's not always instant. But I understand that there are certain kinds of food, such as the I'm being attacked by a grayling. Okay, so here we go. Ah, there you go. So now I am learning to attack him with a torch, which counts as a club, except that it's a club on fire. Not bad. Now I haven't considered this, and I should take a look at the statistics. When I was playing this game, I was thinking learning to use clubs doesn't do much. I mean, it's probably better to use an axe, which I think you can make from a stick of wood and some rocks. But I should take a look at the statistics, whether the torch will count as a club and whether it gives added damage using fire. How about that? How about that? I haven't thought of that yet. I'm just thinking about it now. Now that I reviewed the video. Ooh, is that a mushroom? Okay, there you go. I will pick the mushrooms here, mushrooms there, mushrooms there. Okay, so over there is a when you see that yellow exclamation point, that's a good indication. That indicates that Hugin is in the area, and if there are sparks floating up, or maybe you see something different from the terrain, that could indicate that there's something that you can pick up. You interact with objects with the letter E, and of course you move forward, backward, left, and right using the WASD keys. Okay, and so let's explore this place a little bit and find out what we can do in this environment. Hitting trees with a torch doesn't do much, apparently, but we can later on use an axe to cut down the trees so that we can get more wood. Another thing we should note is if you take a look at the upper left, the torch, there's this white bar that's slowly shrinking. It represents the consumption of the fuel on the torch. As far as I know, once that's used up, that torch is, I guess, worthless. Or I don't know if it's the equivalent of a stick or a club after that. I don't know. But then after that, you can you just throw away the torch and maybe make a new one. I'm not sure. Or maybe you still have a stick and then all you need is resin and then light it up again. I don't know. We'll have to find out. Okay. And so let's walk around. Why am I going around hitting? Oh, okay. So apparently I was just experimenting. I don't have an axe, but where will I get wood? So apparently I look at the smaller trees, the weaker trees, and I just keep on hitting them, see if I can get wood from them, and in doing so, maybe later on build an axe. I only have one rock and I have 4 wood, but even then I need 4 rocks and 5 wood. So it looks like I'm going to be doing some hand-to-hand combat with some trees so that I can finally get some more rocks and get some more uh, wood from the trees. Yeah, and which we can use. So beech trees, I guess, are the entry level kind of wood. My understanding here is that oh, another one, a grayling. Okay, okay. So we're gonna have to defend ourselves again with hand-to-hand combat, or maybe I could have used a piece of wood to construct a club and at least hit him with a club. But I guess I don't mind. I mean, this is a level one. I'm assuming a level one opponent, NPC opponent, and I guess I don't mind fighting it hand to hand. See if I become stronger in hand-to-hand combat. Although I don't know if improving unarmed combat helps later on in other skills. Does it? What's the point? I'm not sure. Okay, so we now have an additional 2 points of wood, and I wonder where we can find rocks. Rocks. Okay, so we're getting a lot of we're getting plenty. Cutting up a lot of trees here. We've already got 5 wood. We can build another torch. It's not so bad. I kind of like that. But the other question is whether we can um, uh, get some more rocks. Okay, so I found some other items like dandelion. What do you use that for? I don't know. Okay, they're plentiful. They're around, but I I'm assuming that in this game it involves crafting. Somehow it provides you with hints on what kind of recipes you can use to craft and build new items. But so far, it happens a bit for some items. Like if you pick up wood and resin, then it tells you, hey, you can build a torch. But what about if you just pick up a dandelion? Does it tell you, hey, you can build something with a dandelion? I don't know. Maybe what you have to do is to pick up other items, and once you have those ingredients together in your inventory, it triggers a message to tell you that hey, you can build something, you can craft something or cook up something with these dandelions together with these other items. Okay, so from what I've heard, from what I've seen, and even playing in some other in the past, playing in some other worlds with other people. For instance, raspberries by themselves, they're just raspberries, but you can use them in conjunction with a lot of with some other items, some other food, in order to use that recipe and make even more food or stronger. That's more fortifying. But I guess the it doesn't trigger giving you that recipe until you have all those ingredients. Okay, so based on that review, based on my thinking on that, I guess the way to do it is when you go into this world, you see anything you can pick up, pick it up. You see anything that you might be able to destroy, cut down, go ahead and do that. Okay, so we'll see what we can come up with, and we shall see what we can do with all of these. The other component here that I'm thinking of is I wonder if we could get by. Let's see with oh well, we still go around and beating up on the wood, but I still haven't found any rocks. I mean, there are large rocks. I keep calling them rocks, but in the inventory it's just called stone. So it's not really meant to be that big. So you can't just go around picking boulders or picking huge rocks. You just gotta go around looking for a stone and then pick them up, make them part of your inventory, and then you can have an axe. So if we find enough stone, maybe we can combine them with the wood that we are picking up, and finally come up with an axe, and we will be more efficient because we still have only one stone. But, oh, look, look, raspberries, raspberries, good, good. Okay, so we've got raspberries, and we can go through each of them. Now, I think you have to put them in your reticle, your targeting reticle. Focus on them with your targeting reticle, and that's when the menu comes up. So it's not enough to just be nearby. Okay, and then when you press E, either you immediately pick it up, or if you're some distance away, it just drops on the ground, and you still have to run over it, go over it. Oh, a log. I wonder if we can use our hand-to-hand combat in order to make wood out of the log. Apparently not. The damage is 0. Okay, so we continue looking for stone. There, stone. Pick it up. See, it just falls down, but it's now something that you can walk over. And there, you can walk over it. And notice if you can walk over it, there's this little sparkle effect that emanates from it to tell you about that it's something that you can pick up. See, although the branch there, yeah, the branch by itself is not yet usable, but once you've picked it up, then it becomes wood. Okay, wait, okay. So I think we have enough stone, and if we do have enough stone, we should be able to. Okay, we have 5 and 4. See, you notice over here, it's telling us that we can do that. Maybe we should already craft an axe. Or am I just so focused on improving my unarmed combat? Does beating up the beach, small beach saplings or trees, is that something that helps me just improve my unarmed skill? I don't see that. Okay, we got resin. That's good. Okay. Then why don't we go ahead and build an axe already? Let me see. Well, we should have already started building an axe now that we've got a grayling coming up. I mean, sure, we can use hand-to-hand combat. We can use unarmed combat to defeat the grayling, and not only that, just to show off, we're also beating up the beech tree at the same time. But I think it's really about time that we build the axe and find out how to do that and just become more efficient at defeating our enemies. Interesting think about is what I'm noticing is that the greylings tend to attack more the more you start this cutting or yeah, or destroying trees or cutting them. So here's an interesting question. In a way, the game mechanic is such that I wonder if it's almost a question of mankind versus nature. Think about it. I mean, if there's a certain kind of mythology at work here, um, where these monsters of the forest are attacking the visitor, the human in this area, and this is in the context of the human trying to survive. I wonder if the metaphor being set up here is that the duality or the opposition of the human being versus nature, and it's a question of survival in the sense that the human must therefore appropriate nature, and nature tries to defend itself against the human, but the human uses technology, crafting, in order to defeat nature and to have mastery over nature. I'm not a big fan of that kind of metaphor, but hey, we're just taking a look at this game and see where it goes. So let's see if how far he can get into the game. We can, but we're picking up some more raspberries, but now we have an axe. So this tells us that we can actually process wood. Okay, so we're just relying on dead wood. Here's an interesting kind of way of doing things. is that supposing you say, "Oh, I don't want to cut down living trees." Well, there are logs. I mean, if you don't want to cut down living things, there are logs that you can chop and get wood. So far, I don't know if you can get the more advanced kinds of wood from logs. I think you can, because along the way in this game, I was able to find some logs which I could not cut because they were too strong. Maybe they were of a higher quality kind of wood, and I would need to upgrade my axe, or forge or craft a more advanced kind of axe in order to cut those kinds of logs. So coming up next, we are going to find an old misshapen kind of shelter with some fences on it and maybe a workbench. And this shows that I've played this game before on this seed and on this map. Up ahead, you could see the horrible looking shelter and the fence. That was my first attempt at it, and I just wanted to start the game again for purposes of this video, but I used the same seed, and apparently anything that was done on in that map prior to restarting is still back here. It's still here. Okay, but you can see how terrible it is. It was my first attempt at building a shelter, and using that crafting skill of the fence and all that. But now that I've come here, I have a workbench, and you can see that earlier I've had lots of wood, logs, but I can't pick them up. Apparently, I guess I'll have to destroy them, shatter them, and pick them up again in order for them to become usable by my character. Because my earlier character, even though I actually called it Wildman, it is, as far as the game is concerned, it's a different character, and that's why I will have to claim it. Okay. Now, here at work is also encumbrance. You can carry up to 300 units of weight. Is that 300 pounds? I guess. And once you exceed that, you are either unable to move, and you'll start to sweat, and if you lose your stamina, you really won't be able to move. But interestingly enough, it's showing me all the recipes of all the things that I can build now that I have some of the items, some of the ingredients. One of the things I could do, because I could build a hammer and I have a hammer, is once again build piles of logs, piles of stone, and I'm going to put them again here right next to the workbench. But you can see here, based on what I have learned from the internet, what's wrong here is that the workbench is out in the open. It'll be better if you have a workbench probably in shelter, because the rain basically, the elements basically wear it down. So let's build some more wood stacks, and after building all of these other items, we can craft more. Okay. So even though this game is in early access, it really already shows you what you can do, and it's actually very interesting because it's open world. There's lots to explore, there's lots to discover, and at the same time, you have to worry about the certain aspects of survival. But what do you think? Let us know. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and like and subscribe. Tap the bell icon to see more videos coming up, and watch our other past videos. We've put them in playlists, and we hope to see you again next time. Thank you very much. See you. Bye bye.